See, this is ribosomes. These are small granule-like structure in the cytoplasm of the cell. These are called ribosome. I already showed you the ribosomes on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. So the ribosomes are formed of RNA proteins. There are of two types, free ribosomes and attached ribosomes. Free ribosomes are scattered in cytoplasm. Scattered means splitted in cytoplasm. Attached ribosomes are on the surface of rough endoplasmic reticulum, and these are the sites for protein synthesis, for the manufacturing of protein synthesis. Next, the plastids. I will tell you what are plastid. Before going to it, let's see the activity 3. The observation of chloroplast in Rio leaf. You have to take the peel of Rio leaf and prepare a slide. Then you have to observe under the microscope. So you will observe the small green granules called chloroplasts. See here, green granules. They mainly contain green substance called chlorophyll. Chloroplasts contain green color substance, that is chlorophyll. See here, chloroplast is a type of plastid. What are plastid? Plastid are of three types, that is chromoplast, leucoplast and chloroplast. So plastids in green color, plastids are present only in plant cells. Plastids are present only in plant cells, mainly of three types, that is chromoplast, leucoplast and chloroplast. Chromoplasts are colored, leucoplasts are colorless, and chloroplasts consist of green color substance, that is chlorophyll. So this is the structure of chloroplast. Chloroplasts are of different shape, disc, oval. So in algae, this can be found as ladders. Ladders means like this, stepwise. Stars, spirals, right? Spirals like this, or reticulate. The diameter of chloroplast is higher in higher plants can vary between 4 to 10 micron. The primary function of chloroplast is to trap the energy from sunlight for photosynthesis process. The chloroplast trap the energy, take the energy from the sunlight and transform it into the chemical energy, thus helping to carry out the photosynthesis process. So activity 5 is about a vacuole. So to observe the vacuole, what you have to do? You have to do an activity. You have to take the leaf or stem of any succulent plant. Succulent plant means like torch cactus, cactus plants, fleshy plants. Take thin cross section of stem of cactus in a watch glass containing water. Stain it with dilute saffron in solution. This is a staining. Observe the section under low and high power microscope. What do you observe? So, the large empty spaces present in the cell are called vacuoles. Empty spaces you find, right, in the cells, that are the vacuole. These are the fluid-filled sac-like structure. In animal cell, vacuoles are small in size, while in plant cell they are large. In mature plant cell, they might occupy almost the entire cell space. Vacuole occupies the entire cell space. Vacuoles mainly turgor pressure within the cell, right? They export unwanted substance from the cell. They take out the unwanted substance from the cell, export, okay? Are cells flat? Usually, when cells are seen under the microscope, the image appears as flat and two-dimensional. Okay? So, cells have length, breadth and thickness. But we can easily see the only length and breadth. We cannot see the thickness of the cell under the microscope. We tend to think that these are flat objects. So, few easy ways to observe the thickness of the cell. The easiest method is to change the focus while viewing plant cell on the slide and look the cell wall. You have to just slightly change the focus of the slide and you have to see the thickness. So you will find that you are able to see the thickness of the wall. This three-dimensional image becomes clear if you reduce the intensity of light as well. Three-dimensional means length, breadth and thickness. Okay, we can view clear if we reduce the intensity of light as well. So it acquires the structure and ability to function. Cell acquired the structure and ability to function because of the organization of its membrane, right? And organized in a specific way, in a perfect way. So here, last topic, where do cells come from? So around 1838 to 1839, there were two scientists, Sliden and Swan, together formulated the cell theory, and Rudolf Karl Virchow first explained that cells are divided and new cells are formed only by the division of pre-existing cell. Here, The scientists were Matthias Jakob Schleiden and Theodor Swan. Schleiden was a botanist, Swan was a zoologist. So for the record, mentioned that few scientists recognized by that cell were present in all living organisms and they were expressed in their own ways. So Schleiden and Swan were the first that claimed that fact was true for the entire plant and animal kingdom. So because of this, the credit for propounding the cell theory goes to them, Schleiden and Swan. Okay. A gap of about 200 years between Robert Hooke first observing the cell and the formulation of cell theory. So Schleiden and Swan together formulated this cell theory, and this theory however did not explain as to how the new cells were formed. So here Rudolf Carl Virchow in 1855 first explained that the new cells could be formed only by the division of pre-existing cell. So he modified the hypothesis of Schleiden and Swan to give the cell theory a final shape. Cell theory as understood today is based on two cardinal principles. The first one is all living organisms are composed of cells and product of cells. You all know that, right? And all cells arise from pre-existing cells.